Yo, what is going on YouTube? I kind of have a scuffed setup here, but we are back with another video, and in this video we are going to be discussing the 2024 American horror thriller film written and directed by Osgood Perkins and starring Maika Monroe, I don't know if that's how you say her name, Nicolas Cage, Blair Underwood, and Alicia Witt. We have Longlegs. Nicolas Cage is a damn serial killer. I knew I had to check that out because this is not your average Nicolas Cage role, and this just came out like 3-4 months ago. Yeah, this is pretty hype. This is pretty recent, and there's a story with this. I actually forgot my fucking stuff at school, like on my PC for my Ghostbusters review, so that's probably not coming for another couple of days. Think of like if Arnold Schwarzenegger got casted as Jigsaw or something like that. Like, how do you get the picture? Like, now do you realize how crazy this is? I mean, this is awesome. I don't care how good or bad or like high or low I rate this movie. New things like this in Hollywood are always great. We've seen some crazy breakthroughs recently. You know, Bob Odenkirk was an action hero in Nobody, but this may be one of the crazier ones we have seen. Like, this is actually so awesome. This is great. I mean, let's not waste any time and just dive right into it because it's absolutely amazing. So getting into the premise, this movie follows a witty FBI agent by the name of Lee Harker, that is Monroe's character. He's assigned to an unsolved serial killer case that takes an unexpected turn, revealing evidence of the occult, of a satanic occult, and like motivations behind, you know, murdering people and doing these serial killings, and there's a bunch of like times that line up. It's pretty wild. The serial killer goes by the name of Longlegs, who is played by the ever so amazing Nicolas Cage, and he goes around killing families based on their daughter's birthdays. There's like a weird coincidence. It's not a coincidence, obviously. They're planning on doing that, and this is something that every family murder has in common. What other clues will be revealed? I mean, that is something to be discovered throughout the film. That's kind of what the film is setting up to be. You guys are gonna have to watch that yourself. And Parker has a very like sharp mind, and she has good intuition. She's a very wise woman. She has very good detective instincts, and with her help, the FBI is slowly able to reveal clues as to what may have started this killing spree and how it might have went down. You know, they're trying to like solve this murder mystery kind of thing, and Lee Harker is helping them out. Parker discovers a personal connection, however, to the killer and must stop him before he strikes again. It is there's so many crazy revelations. Again, you just have to watch this thing. It's absolutely incredible. Sorry about my background. If there's like baby toys and shit over there, that's my bad. What type of reveals will this movie bring to light? Again, you'll have to watch to find out. If I accidentally spoil it at some point, that is not on me. I would definitely watch the movie before you come watch this review. Just kind of preface that. So getting into the good, I haven't seen a whole lot of crime horror films, but man, almost every time I do, whether you're talking about one of my favorite films of all time, Seven, and another one of the more interesting movies I've ever seen on the channel, The House That Jack Built, they damn near always hit for me. And this is like another one that may not meet the standards of this other movie, but it is still awesome to see crime mixed with horror, as those are probably my two favorite genres of both movies and television. We've watched shows like The Sopranos, we've watched shows like Ozark, and you guys know that like my YouTube channel has a lot of horror movies. Like, predominantly we are very much a horror movie review channel. If we're gonna do movies, of course we do other stuff, but there you have it. And obviously I forgot to mention Silence of the Lambs. That's another good crime horror movie. All of those movies are great. There's so many really good crime horrors. There's so many of them that I like have yet to kind of like talk about and even watch. It's almost a diamond in the rough for horror, like this type of genre. You don't get it much anymore, but when you do, it's actually really fucking good. I love the concept of this movie as well. It's just amazing. It's really cool to see that. We'll talk about the satanic stuff in a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of that aspect of the movie, obviously, because it's just kind of negative. There you go. And also, you guys know me. I love unorthodox, oddball, crazy, disturbing films. And this is another movie I can add to that list of like these fucked up, like Parasite type of movies that we've watched on this channel that just have super twisted, fucked up implications with them. Again, I won't get into too much detail with the reveals, but let's just say my jaw was on the floor for some of them. Like, this movie was genuinely pretty shocking. Like, some of the stuff they pulled off and some of the stuff they did. The shots too are awesome, so spacious, so eerie. It has some like sinister sort of shots. It's super effective at bringing a thrill to the screen and genuinely like giving you anxiety while you're watching it. It's actually insane. So many different angles. It's a great movie. It's a really good movie. I'm just gonna say that up forth. Like, I know my rating at the end. I already know what I'm gonna rate it, obviously. I know that's not gonna really echo my sentiments, but it's a really good fucking movie. I actually really enjoyed this. And when a movie makes you like over analyze a set piece or a scene or a part of the frame, you just know it was shot well. Such a feeling of suspense in this film, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that as a viewer, as like for a watching experience. experience. It's great. I love it. Crazy enough, a movie like this with no jump scares made it 10 times more effective and creepy. The fact that there weren't jump scares in this film made it more creepy. And, you know, getting into the Lee Harker character, she's super interesting. She's like this very to herself, socially awkward, detached human being, but yet she's like this determined detective that's super smart and knows how to like cipher codes and all this stuff. And you kind of watch as well and you study her character and you wonder why she is like that. And then the uneasiness starts to set in with the reveals and everything, and you kind of realize why she acts the way she does. It's awesome. Like, the movie starts to make sense. There's still some stuff that's kind of left in the air, and again, we'll talk about that soon. It's honestly great on the actress's part that the character was like that. So shout out to Micah Monroe, I think her name was. I will correct myself if I need to. Also, my god, I mean, Nick Cage could be the next Joker. Seriously, I'm not even overhyping this. What a fucking performance from him. Again, going from macho action hero to a deranged, fucked up, psychopathic individual and play that so well, it just gives you chills. It's fucking amazing. This may be his most out of element role yet, and he absolutely kills it. So those are my goods for the film, a lot of them. So obviously, because there's so many good elements of this film, there's not a lot of bad or okay elements. So getting into the bad, I will say I'm not religious, but the satanic aspects of the film, which is obviously about 40 to 50% of the film, it definitely bothered me a little bit. I'm kind of getting to that point in my life where like I don't really need this disturbing shit to be in my fucking face 24/7. I already get some nasty shit on Twitter. I don't know. I used to be a sucker for the supernatural with all the big James Wan movies we have gotten, but I don't know. Something about it now just makes me extremely uncomfortable. Is that really a bad thing for the film? No, because that's just what the film is about and it's what it's centered on. But still, it's the point. I get that. Nick Cage might have clip farmed a few times, so I guess that's a negative. You know, his character was better when he wasn't shrieking like a weirdo and acting super fucking obnoxious. Like when he was calm and collected and had these eerie, like cold-toned lines. Not twice, but as many times as it was probably better for the character, but I don't know. There you have it. Getting into the mixed aspects, there's a couple of them. I found it weird that I didn't really know when this movie was taking place until I read the plot afterwards and kind of lined everything up. I wasn't necessarily sure where this story took place. You know that the murders take place in the 70s, but how far in the future are we here? I don't know. I guess you could have figured that out, like if you were really like being over analytical of all the newspaper articles they were showing and stuff, but still. It's pretty much irrelevant though that I would even mention this. I don't know why I'm bringing it up in all honesty. I just had to have something in here, and I thought it was funny, by the way, that even with the Bill Clinton picture in the office, I couldn't figure it out. Once I was like, after the movie was over, I was kind of looking back like, oh yeah, Bill Clinton, his presidency was in the 90s, of course. And also, you know, another mixed aspect is some of the details in the film are a bit confusing, that is for sure, but there's good and bad to that. The good part is, hey, it's up for interpretation, and it has rewatchability because you can go back and see like, hey, what can I figure out some extra clues here and like kind of tie the story better on the second watch, because some of this stuff is, did I just say second listen? I said second watch after that. Obviously the bad thing is that there is some confusion walking out of the theater, walking away from your TV, you know, it is what it is. And also the pacing was a little strange with this one. Everything kind of hits you in the face in the last few scenes of the film, and I just don't know how to feel about that yet, so those are kind of my mixed thoughts. Getting into the review, let's pull up the tier list, baby, and like I said before, I'm going to be a little conservative. I feel like I'm definitely going to underrate this movie with the review, because I know off of first watch this wasn't like the greatest film ever, but now I'm kind of sitting back and like thinking about it and letting the film marinate. It's a really good fucking movie, actually. Like I can see the potential that this may get a higher score out of me if I revisit it, like maybe not right away, but like a year or two later. I think that has potential, although we do have a lot of new movies to watch on the channel, so I don't know when I would have time for that. Nick Cage is a guy who I can now say can play an insane serial killer and do it well. That's just another thing he's kind of added to his resume as an actor. He's played all sorts of these roles. He's played Santa Claus, for crying out loud. He's played action heroes in Face Off. It's actually insane. He played a vampire in what was the movie called Renfield. Like, holy cow, dude. This guy does everything. But it's still a relatively new concept, and now it is up to me to figure out how much I like this role for him. And in terms of calling back to some of the greatest crime horror films ever, which this film does, how well does this movie execute the concept? How well does it pay homage to those films? Also, maybe if I watch it more, things will make sense to me. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 7.4 out of 10. I think this was actually a really good fucking movie. Obviously, that doesn't really reflect anything. This could easily be an 8 or 9 out of 10 if you want to. I really don't care. But for now, again, being a little conservative, because there's so many really good movies we've seen on the channel that probably stomp this movie out, if I'm being honest with you. Anyway, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully we'll get back to the Ghostbusters franchise, but I figured, you know, I was scrolling through Netflix or Prime one night and I saw this and I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna watch that at some point very fucking soon. So here you have it, Longlegs 2024, brand new movie. We have Nick Cage as a serial killer. So for future content, you don't want to miss out. I don't know how much I'm going to be posting, but we will try, boys.